Joining us now is Wald, president of Transversal Consulting and senior non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council's Global Energy Center. Ellen, see more progress in the coming weeks. What did you think that actually means tangibly?
I think that he's being a little bit more optimistic than what we're actually going to see coming out of OPEC. It's very likely that when OPEC meets on August 3rd, that they will push through an increase in their quotas. They've had, kind of the same progress throughout, doing, small increases in their quotas. But that doesn't mean that production will actually increase in a market moving significant way. We've seen really incremental increases. Really only Saudi Arabia and the UAE have spare capacity at this point, and even they don't have that much. Saudi Arabia is already producing 10.65 million barrels a day, which is really quite a high rate for them. They might be able to go up to 10.8. I think that's probably the height of what we'll see them go to. Their quota might increase to 11 million, but it's unlikely they are actually going to increase to that rate. So when he says we'll see some more movement in the next couple of weeks, I think that's really all that he's talking about, or all that we're actually going to get.
Right. So those are where our expectations should sit then, Ellen. In terms of what is driving, prices at the gas pump for US consumers, for example, which is obviously what President Biden is going to be concerned about. A lot of voices, and I know that you have a similar view, suggest that some of this is driven by a lack of investment in refining capacity in the US over years. Is there anything that turns that around? And if there is, how is it funded?
Well, one of the things that could turn it around is actually a drop in demand. And we're kind of on the cusp of seeing that. I think the market is really looking for a drop in demand due to both inflation, fears of a recession, and those kinds of things. And that could definitely lead to, to lower prices. In terms of increasing refining capacity, we're really at a point where we can't really do anything that would make a noticeable difference in the near future. We could invest in increasing refining capacity for the longer run. One thing that might make it a bit easier in terms of to alleviate issues would be to suspend the Jones Act, because that would make it easier to transport oil or gasoline from various places in the U.S. by sea. So, for example, it would be easier to get gasoline, say, that's produced in the Gulf region to places on the East Coast. So that could help alleviate price issues.
Ellen, what's interesting is if you look at sort of average gasoline prices in the U.S., we're down. We are well down from the highs. It's at about $4.52. I'm not saying that we're all in the clear, but gasoline prices have come down despite the fact that oil prices are staying high. It does feel like the demand for high prices and the cure for that is demand destruction. Do you anticipate, are we looking at sort of lower gasoline prices, or do you think you're going to see even more demand come in now and then pick that price back up?
I think that for the rest of the summer driving season, we're definitely going to see kind of a volatility in terms of gasoline prices. They move more slowly. They don't react as quickly to the market as oil prices do. So we saw oil prices go down last week. Now they're back up, and there's going to be a lag in terms of seeing that in gasoline prices. And we're definitely, I think there's a potential for gasoline prices to go up again before the summer is over. But then once we head into the fall, that's when refineries start to go offline to do maintenance, and that could also put the squeeze on gasoline supplies unless we do actually see demand destruction. Also, keep in mind, though, that some school districts are actually going back to school as soon as the end of July. And so as we hit back to school in various places in the South in August, we do tend to see a bit of a slowdown in terms of gasoline demand in those areas.